When selecting a disconnect switch for a 220 volt, 30 amp air conditioning system, several factors come into play. Firstly, the type of disconnect switch is crucial. A circuit breaker disconnect is generally recommended for this application. Secondly, the rating of the disconnect switch needs to match the circuit requirements. In this case, a 30 amp 220 volt disconnect switch is appropriate. Now, let's consider whether to choose a fusible or non-fusible disconnect switch. For a 30 amp circuit, a non-fusible circuit breaker disconnect is typically recommended due to its safety and reliability. Fuses add an extra layer of protection, but for standard AC units, a non-fusible breaker is usually sufficient and more convenient. A specific recommendation is the squared DQ or 130C30, which is a 30 amp 220 volt circuit breaker disconnect. It is non-fusible, suitable for both indoor and outdoor use, and UL listed, ensuring it meets safety standards. Regarding installation, the disconnect switch should be installed in a readily accessible location outside the building, close to the outdoor unit. This allows for easy access for maintenance and emergency shutoff. The disconnect switch should be mounted on a sturdy surface to prevent movement or damage. Wiring should always be performed in accordance with local electrical codes to ensure safety and compliance. There are also some additional considerations to keep in mind. Firstly, the electrical wire size must be appropriate for the amperage rating of the disconnect switch. For a 30 amp circuit, 10 American wire gauge copper wire is generally recommended, but always consult local codes and the unit's documentation for specific requirements. Secondly, the disconnect switch should be clearly labeled for easy identification. This is important for safety and can prevent confusion during maintenance or emergencies. Regularly maintain the disconnect switch to prevent accidental tripping or failure. This includes checking for loose connections, corrosion, and any signs of damage. Ensuring the disconnect switch is in good working order helps maintain the safety and reliability of the AC system. Circuit breakers are designed to protect electrical circuits from damage caused by overcurrent or short circuits. They work by interrupting the flow of electricity when a fault is detected, preventing damage to equipment and reducing the risk of fire. There are several types of circuit breakers, each designed for specific applications and current ratings. Common types include standard thermal magnetic breakers, ground fault circuit interrupters or GFCIs, and arc fault circuit interrupters or RFCIs. Thermal magnetic breakers are the most common type and use a combination of thermal and magnetic mechanisms to trip the circuit. GFCIs are designed to protect against electrical shock by detecting ground faults, which occur when current leaks to ground. RFCIs are designed to protect against arc faults, which are dangerous electrical arcs that can cause fires. The National Electrical Code or NEC provides guidelines for selecting and installing circuit breakers to ensure safety and compliance. Article 240 of the NEC covers overcurrent protection, including circuit breakers and fuses. It specifies the requirements for selecting the appropriate size and type of breaker for different circuits and applications. When selecting a circuit breaker, it's important to consider the circuit's voltage, amperage, and interrupting rating. The voltage rating must match the system voltage, and the amperage rating must be sufficient to handle the circuit's load. The interrupting rating is the maximum current that the breaker can safely interrupt without being damaged. The NEC also requires that circuit breakers be readily accessible and properly labeled for easy identification. This ensures that electricians and homeowners can quickly locate and operate the breakers in case of an emergency. Proper installation and maintenance of circuit breakers are essential for ensuring their reliability and effectiveness. Breakers should be installed in a dry, well-ventilated location and protected from physical damage. Regular inspection should be performed to check for loose connections, corrosion, and any signs of damage. If a breaker trips frequently or shows signs of damage, it should be replaced immediately. In addition to circuit breakers, disconnect switches are also an important component of electrical systems. Disconnect switches provide a means of safely disconnecting power to equipment for maintenance or repair. They are typically installed near the equipment they serve and must be readily accessible. There are several types of disconnect switches, including fused and non-fused switches. Fused disconnect switches provide overcurrent protection in addition to disconnection, while non-fused switches only provide disconnection. The choice between fused and non-fused switches depends on the application and the level of protection required. The NEC requires that disconnect switches be rated for the voltage and amperage of the circuit they serve. They must also be suitable for the environment in which they are installed, such as wet or corrosive locations. Disconnect switches must be clearly labeled to indicate the equipment they disconnect. Proper installation and maintenance of disconnect switches are essential for ensuring their safety and reliability. Switches should be installed in accordance with the manufacturer's instructions and local electrical codes. Regular inspections should be performed to check for loose connections, corrosion, and any signs of damage. If a switch is difficult to operate or shows signs of damage, it should be repaired or replaced immediately. Grounding is another critical aspect of electrical safety. Grounding provides a low impedance path for fault current to flow back to the source, which helps to protect equipment and prevent electrical shock. The NEC requires that all electrical systems be properly grounded. Grounding electrodes, such as ground rods or metal water pipes, are used to connect the electrical system to the earth. The grounding electrode conductor connects the grounding electrode to the equipment grounding conductor, which runs throughout the electrical system. Equipment grounding conductors are used to ground non-current carrying metal parts of equipment, such as enclosures and conduit. This helps to prevent these parts from becoming energized in the event of a fault. Ground fault circuit interrupters, or GFCIs, are another important safety device. GFCIs are designed to protect against electrical shock by detecting ground faults, which occur when current leaks to ground. When a ground fault is detected, the GFCI quickly interrupts the flow of electricity, preventing a potentially lethal shock. The NEC requires GFCIs in certain locations, such as bathrooms, kitchens, and outdoor areas, where there is a high risk of electrical shock. Arc fault circuit interrupters, or FCIs, are designed to protect against arc faults, which are dangerous electrical arcs that can cause fires. Arc faults could occur due to damaged wiring, loose connections, or other electrical problems. When an arc fault is detected, the FCI quickly interrupts the flow of electricity, preventing a fire. The NEC requires FCIs in certain locations, such as bedrooms and living rooms, where there is a high risk of arc faults. Surge protection is also important for protecting electrical equipment from damage caused by voltage surges. Voltage surges can be caused by lightning strikes, power outages, or other electrical disturbances. Surge protective devices, or SPD, are designed to protect against voltage surges by diverting the excess voltage to ground. The NEC recommends SPD for sensitive electronic equipment, such as computers, televisions, and appliances. Electrical safety is a critical concern for both homeowners and electricians. By following the guidelines in the NEC and using appropriate safety devices, it is possible to minimize the risk of electrical shock, fire, and equipment damage. Regular inspections and maintenance of electrical systems are essential for ensuring their safety and reliability. If you are not comfortable working with electricity, it is always best to hire a qualified electrician to perform any electrical work. When dealing with electrical components and systems, always prioritize safety. Firstly, ensure that the power is turned off at the main breaker before working on any electrical circuits. Secondly, use insulated tools and wear appropriate personal protective equipment, such as safety glasses and gloves. Thirdly, never work on electrical systems in wet or damp conditions. Understanding the fundamentals of electrical theory is crucial for working safely and effectively with electricity. Ohm's law describes the relationship between voltage, current, and resistance in an electrical circuit. Voltage is the electrical potential difference between 2 points measured in volts. Current is the flow of electrical charge measured in amps. Resistance is the opposition to the flow of current measured in ohms. Ohm's law states that voltage is equal to current multiplied by resistance, or volts equals amps times ohms. Power is the rate at which electrical energy is transferred measured in watts. Power is equal to voltage multiplied by current, or watts equals volts times amps. Understanding these basic principles is essential for troubleshooting electrical problems and designing electrical circuits. When working with electrical circuits, it's important to understand the difference between series and parallel circuits. In a series circuit, components are connected end to end, so the same current flows through each component. The total resistance of a series circuit is equal to the sum of the individual resistances. In a parallel circuit, components are connected side by side, so the voltage is the same across each component. The total resistance of a parallel circuit is less than the smallest individual resistance. Understanding the characteristics of series and parallel circuits is important for designing and troubleshooting electrical systems. Electrical wiring comes in various sizes and types, each designed for specific applications. The size of the wire is determined by its American wire gauge or AWG rating. The smaller the AWG number, the larger the wire. The larger the wire, the more current it can safely carry. The type of wire is determined by its insulation material and construction. Common types of wire include non-metallic or NN cable, which is used for residential wiring, and conduit, which is used for commercial and industrial wiring. When selecting wire for an electrical circuit, it's important to consider the amperage of the circuit and the ambient temperature. The NEC provides tables that specify the allowable ampacity of different wire sizes and types under various conditions. Using the wrong size or type of wire can be dangerous and can lead to overheating, fire, or equipment damage. Electrical panels are the central distribution point for electrical power in a building. They contain circuit breakers or fuses that protect the circuits from overcurrent. Electrical panels must be properly grounded and labeled to ensure safety and easy identification. When working on an electrical panel, it's important to follow all safety precautions and to have a qualified electrician perform the work. Adding new circuits to an electrical panel requires careful planning and execution. Firstly, determine the load requirements of the new circuit and select the appropriate size and type of wire and circuit breaker. Secondly, ensure that the electrical panel has sufficient capacity to handle the new circuit. Thirdly, follow all applicable codes and regulations when installing the new circuit. If you are not comfortable working on an electrical panel, it is always best to hire a qualified electrician to perform the work. Troubleshooting electrical problems requires a systematic approach and a good understanding of electrical theory. Firstly, identify the symptoms of the problem and gather information about the circuit. Secondly, use a multimeter to measure voltage, current, and resistance to help pinpoint the source of the problem. Thirdly, follow a logical troubleshooting process to isolate the faulty component or wiring. When troubleshooting electrical problems, always prioritize safety and follow all applicable codes and regulations. If you are not comfortable troubleshooting electrical problems, it is always best to hire a qualified electrician to perform the work. Electrical safety is a shared responsibility. Homeowners, electricians, and contractors all have a role to play in ensuring that electrical systems are safe and reliable. By following the guidelines in the NEC and using appropriate safety devices, it is possible to minimize the risk of electrical shock, fire, and equipment damage. Regular inspections and maintenance of electrical systems are essential for ensuring their safety and reliability. And remember, when in doubt, consult a qualified electrician.